YouTube, 87 Ricer here. So, I decided to take my Honda Rebel bobber for a little drive, and I was gonna drop it off and get the wiring situation figured out, but after I drove it, I just decided, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it as it is and ride it as it is, because honestly it still runs and rides just fine. The handlebar is just slightly turned to my right. Now I turned off the fuel, which is why it just shut off. But so anyways, my handlebar is just a little crooked, kind of turned it to the right a little bit, but after riding it, I ended up, I just decided, screw it, I'm going to ride it as it is. So the wiring system with this, as you see, my headlight is on, see? That turns my headlight on, but that's the thing, even though I turned my headlight off, it doesn't really kill the power to the bike. The bike just shut off right now because it ran out of fuel. But if I was to turn it back on, with a little bit of fuel, just a little bit. Hitting off. Watch. It still runs. This turns the headlight on and off, but it doesn't kill the power. So if I want to kill the power, push this, turn it back on, and then turn this on, and then it fires up. But once I turn this, only the headlight goes off. And you know what? I just figured, like I said, I was worried about it. I was kind of concerned about it. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and get the wiring system figured out. But a little issue like that, and I thought the handlebars being a little crooked to the right, it's not like totally to the right. It's just got an ever so slight right twist that way, but it's not like terrible. So after riding it up and down the road, I just decided, screw it, I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to ride it as it is. It's still fun. I just had a complete blast riding it. And, I mean, I just filled up the tank, and I put fresh fuel in it, and I only put 9 miles on it with this new tank of fuel. So, for me to feel comfortable riding it in the condition it is, I thought it was going to be an issue. I thought maybe I wasn't going to like riding it that way, but you know what? After riding it, I'm just going to ride it as it is. I had a blast on it. I miss riding bikes. I missed riding this bike. It's got the shorty exhaust on both sides. It's got the bobber fender side deal, side license plate. I mean, honestly, this bike is just fun. I love it the way it is. I'm gonna ride it the way it is because it just puts a smile on my face. Like, I honestly love riding. I loved riding it when I had it, then I sold it, and then it came back up for sale, and I rebought it, and only 500 miles was put on it since I sold it, out of a year that it was gone. And I still love Insanity. Insanity is my only Harley-Davidson Sportster. She's an 883, and I call her Insanity because the paint job is an insane paint job. A lot of people think I'm crazy for doing that, but for me, it's a cheap budget tie-dye paint job, and I love purple. I absolutely love purple. Now, this purple that's on there is actually the hunting purple. It's like that hunting purple that you see on marked on trees and stuff as private property. That's the kind of purple that's in there. But yeah, I'm gonna wait for this bike to shut off again with the fuel, and then I'll roll Olaf back in. Now I decided to go ahead and list Olaf online for sale because you know, the cops in town, there's a couple cops in town that just keep bothering me, and I don't feel like collecting tickets because they feel like being assholes. So I'm just not gonna ride the bike. I can sell that bike and get a different bike. I bought Olaf so I could ride with my wife while she rides the Ice Bear Rocket, but I don't think she's gonna be able to ride because the cops in town are being dicks, and it's only 2 cops that are being that way, and it's just a city ordinance since 2000 that they don't allow 50cc bikes on the highway, and we got 2 highways coming into town, so they're just being dicks. I've never been bothered up until October of last year. Never had a problem with the cops. They never bothered me about riding, and then these 2 guys, they come into town and then they start making sure that all of us scooter riders know that they're not going to let us ride without consequences. So I'm just going to sell Olaf. I've got some money saved up that I had collected, and I've been considering buying an Enduro. So the Enduro, there's a chance I may buy an Enduro, and then again there's a chance I may buy another Honda Rebel. It just really depends on what my brother does. If my brother doesn't have a bike by September, which my brother is Simple Living 1980, if he doesn't have a motorcycle by September, then I am just gonna go ahead and buy another Honda Rebel, because he'll need a bike to ride, and that bike, I mean, there's nothing to mount it to. There's nothing to mount your like camping gear to. I can mount my camping gear on Insanity, but you know, I had Knuckles last year, and I sold Knuckles, and yeah, so, but because I seen this bike come up for sale, and I was like, you know what, I'll sell Knuckles and get the other bike. But right now my idea is to buy an Enduro or buy another Honda Rebel, so my brother's got a bike to ride. I bought my Haynes manual for this bad boy, so yeah. Anyways, I'm 87 Ricer. I just made this video a little bit too long. Sorry to bore you, but I'm hoping somebody will buy Olaf and he'll go to a new home. Not that he's a bad bike. I just don't feel like getting harassed by the cops. It's a bunch of shit. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my wife's bike. I have a parts bike outside for hers that I bought, and I don't know what, if she's not able to ride, then there's no point of having that one, because I'm not going to be able to ride either, and I'd just rather have a couple big bikes that I can take and go farther out of town, because technically this bike will get about roughly 100 miles to the tank. That bike, if you're going full speed, it goes pretty quick, but you're getting about maybe 70 miles, maybe a little over 70 miles to a tank of fuel on Olaf. So I mean, it's not very, like, I filled up in Hermann at the gas station, at BP gas station, and I drove all the way out to Owensville, Missouri. And by the time I got out to Owensville, Missouri, and of course I was going everything that little bike had, and by the time I got out to Owensville, I was literally like chomping at my nails, because I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it or have to push the damn thing the rest of the way. So Olaf's a good bike. I like Olaf. It's sad, but I'd rather let him go and get a different bike. I'm just a lover of all bikes. I like small bikes. I like big bikes. I like all bikes, but I'm trying to keep all my. I'm trying to keep it to a minimum. At one point I had 4 bikes. I had 4 bikes at the most at one point, and I'm talking like a Honda Shadow, couple Sportsters, and a V-Star 650. So, like, at one point I had 4, and then I just started downgrading because I wanted to keep them to a minimum. Technically, I have enough room in this shed for, a few bikes, but it'd be nice to see another Honda Rebel here, because at least I know with the Rebels I can get about 150 miles to a tank compared to 70-ish. And I was going to have Classy Coleman ride Olaf to Lake of the Ozarks while I rode Insanity and my brother rode this bike. And then Classy Coleman let me down with bad news that he's only going to be able to go for 1 day. And I just said, don't even bother. Don't even bother to go if you're only going for 1 day at the bike event. Because, Bike Fest. I said, it's not worth the hassle of maintaining to keep gas in that one to get down there. And then once you get down there, then you got to do the same thing to get back. He's going to have to keep a gas can on that bike for when he's not around a gas station to fill it up. So no point of going through the hassle. So I said, just don't bother going. I'll just sell the white bike. But I was going to keep it if he was going to go. And if he was going to go for the weekend, I was going to keep Olaf. But that plan has changed. So Olaf is listed for sale. So I hope to sell him soon. And then come up with one of the other bikes. Because he actually, Classy Coleman has a bike currently. Because out in Owensville, they allow you to ride scooters. That's under that cover is Classy Coleman's scooter. It's a little 50cc Teo pony. So he's able to ride that bike out in Owensville, and I'm only charging him $200 for it. That way he's got something to ride, because last time he rode my wife's bike, this handlebar touched this handlebar on this bike, and then he wiped out and got road rash on this bike, and he rode a little bit too close to me, and so he wrecked my wife's scooter. She wasn't mad, but I said, there's a $200 scooter that I bought for him. I said, pay me back, and then you can wreck your own stuff, and it'll be cheaper than going and buying a brand new. Because his idea was he wants to buy like a Honda, not a Honda Navi or a Honda Monkey. And I said, dude, buy a cheap bike, wreck it a few times, then worry about your Honda Navi. Otherwise, he's buying an expensive bike just to wreck it. So, anyways, I'm jibber-jabbering too much. Long video. Sorry. Love you all. Peace. Have a fantastic weekend and week ahead of you. I'm out. 87 Ricer. Love y'all. Bye.